Welcome back to the Beautifully Unfiltered podcast. I'm so grateful you're here today. Our topic for today is when everyone needs you, but no one asks if you're okay. There are people in this world who naturally become the ones others rely on. They're the ones friends call when life feels overwhelming, the ones family members turn to when they need advice, the ones who always seem to have everything under control. They're dependable, compassionate, and always willing to help. But have you ever noticed something? The more dependable you become, the less people stop to ask how you're doing. Not because they don't care, but because they've become so used to seeing your strength that they begin to assume you don't need support yourself. And slowly, without even realizing it, you become the person everyone leans on. Today, I want us to pause for a moment and reflect on something we rarely ask ourselves. When did you become the person everyone depends on? Maybe it happened so gradually that you never even noticed. One day, you became the one people called whenever they needed advice, the one who always knew what to say, the one who remembered everyone's birthdays, the one who stayed calm during family problems, the one who volunteered to help, the one who always found a way to make things work. And before you knew it, being dependable became part of your identity. At first, it felt good. It felt meaningful to know that people trusted you, to know they believed you were capable, to know they felt safe enough to lean on you. There's something beautiful about being someone others can count on. But somewhere along the way, something quietly changed. People became so accustomed to your strength that they stopped noticing your struggles, not because they didn't care, but because they assumed you were always okay. After all, you've always been the strong one, the responsible one, the reliable one. So surely, you don't need help. And that's how invisible expectations begin. No one says them out loud, but you feel them. You feel like you have to stay strong. You feel like you have to solve every problem. You feel guilty when you're tired. You apologize for resting. You convince yourself that asking for help would somehow disappoint the people who believe in you. So you keep carrying. Another responsibility, another favor, another expectation, another person depending on you. Until one day, you realize you've been carrying everyone else's needs while quietly placing your own at the bottom of the list. The strange thing about being dependable is that people often notice when you stop giving, but they rarely notice how much you've already given. They remember the one time you couldn't help, not the 100 times you did. And if you've ever experienced that, please know you're not alone. Beautiful soul. Being dependable is a beautiful quality, but it should never become a prison. You were never meant to carry every burden. You were never meant to solve every problem. And you were never meant to believe that your worth depends on how much you can do for everyone else. Sometimes, the strongest people aren't the ones who carry everything. They're the ones who finally learn that it's okay to share the weight. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to recognize when someone else is exhausted, yet how difficult it is to recognize it in yourself? When a friend tells you they're overwhelmed, you immediately encourage them to slow down. When a family member looks tired, you remind them to get some rest. When someone you love says they need a break, you understand. But when it's you, somehow the rules change. You tell yourself, just one more day. After I finish this, I'll rest. Everyone is counting on me. And those one more days quietly become weeks, then months, sometimes even years. One of the greatest challenges dependable people face isn't that they work too hard. It's that they've become uncomfortable receiving help, receiving kindness, receiving support. Somewhere along the way, they started believing that they should always be the giver, always the helper, always the listener, always the one who has everything under control. And whenever someone offers to help, Their first response is often, "It's okay, I've got it." Not because they truly do, but because they've forgotten what it feels like to let someone carry the weight with them. Beautiful soul, there is something you need to hear today. The people who love you don't only value what you do for them, they value you, your presence, your laughter, your heart, your friendship. You don't have to earn your place in someone's life by constantly sacrificing yourself. Real motivations are never one-sided. They allow both people to give and both people to receive. Think about the people you care about most. Would you want them to carry every burden alone? Of course not. You'd probably tell them, "You don't have to do everything by yourself." So why is it so difficult to believe those same words when they're meant for you? Maybe because you've become so used to being the dependable one that you've forbidden you're allowed to lean on someone too. Maybe strength isn't always found in carrying more. Maybe sometimes strength is found in saying, "Could you help me?" Or, "I'm feeling overwhelmed today." Or even, "I need to rest." Those words don't make you weak. They make you honest. And honesty builds healthier relationships than silent exhaustion ever could. Because people can't support the version of you that never lets them know you need support. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can give the people who love you is the opportunity to be there for you too. Beautiful soul. What if today became the day you stopped believing that you have to carry everything alone? Not because you've become less loving, not because you've become less generous, but because you've finally realized that caring for yourself allows you to care for others in a healthier way. There is a difference between helping people and carrying responsibilities that were never yours to begin with. Sometimes we pick up burdens simply because we're afraid of disappointing someone. We say yes when our hearts are asking for rest. We agree to things we don't have the energy for. We stretch ourselves thinner and thinner until there's almost nothing left for us. But here's something worth remembering. Every time you say yes to something, you're also saying no to something else. When you constantly say yes to everyone else's needs, you may unknowingly be saying no to your own peace, no to your health, no to your family, no to your dreams, no to the quiet moments your heart desperately needs. That's why boundaries aren't walls that keep people out. They're bridges that help us build healthier relationships. Because when you learn to protect your energy, you begin showing up with joy instead of resentment, with peace instead of exhaustion, with love instead of obligation. Beautiful soul, you were never created to pour endlessly without being refilled. Even rivers have seasons. Even trees lose their leaves before they bloom again. Even the sunrise disappears each evening so that morning can come once more. Nature itself reminds us that rest isn't weakness, it's part of life. So why should your heart be any different? If you've been carrying more than you can handle, maybe today is your invitation to put one burden down. Not all of them, just one. Maybe it's the responsibility you've accepted out of guilt. Maybe it's the expectation you've placed on yourself. Maybe it's the belief that you have to solve everyone's problems. You don't. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give the people you love is a healthier version of yourself. Someone who smiles because they're genuinely happy. Someone who helps because they want to, not because they feel obligated. Someone who knows that love doesn't require self-neglect. Before we end today's conversation, I want to leave you with one gentle reminder. The people who truly love you won't only appreciate everything you do for them, they'll also want you to be well. They'll want you to rest. They'll want you to laugh. They'll want you to live a life that isn't constantly weighed down by responsibility. Because your value has never been measured by how much you carry. Your value has always been found in who you are. Not what you do, not how much you sacrifice, not how available you make yourself. Simply who you are. If this episode spoke to your heart, I hope you'll share it with someone who may need this reminder. And if you'd like to continue having honest conversations about healing, growth, and becoming the person you're meant to be, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Beautifully Unfiltered podcast. And if there's a topic you'd like me to talk about in a future episode, feel free to leave it in the comments below. You don't have to earn your worth by carrying everything alone. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to ask for help. And you are allowed to protect your peace without feeling guilty. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. What's one responsibility you're ready to let go of so you can make more room for peace? Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. This is Maya from Beautifully Unfiltered Podcast.